Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Everything Suffolk. My name is Brian, and as always, I'm joined by our county executive, Suffolk County Executive Ed Romaine. Thank you for being here.
It's great to be here, particularly this holiday season. A lot of things going on.
Yep. Just recently, we were at the Smith Point Bridge. The weight limit was raised, but you also signed an executive order. Could you explain what that executive order accomplishes?
Yes, let me go back and give you a little background. As you know, on Saturday, I guess it was earlier this month, the New York State Department of Transportation went out and inspected the bridge and found that there were some conditions that made them a little nervous about the structural integrity of the bridge and lowered automatically the weight limit to 3 tons, which is 6,000 pounds. So that was a concern, and we were very concerned about the bridge. We've had worked with DOT and our experts to take a look at the bridge to see what was possible. But I signed an emergency order so that we will start repairs on this bridge, which, by the way, is going to be knocked down at some point. But nevertheless, it is the only bridge now to Smith Point. So it has to be usable. So I signed an emergency order to work double shifts to make sure that the work on making sure this bridge was structurally sound was going on and would be ready for the spring and summer season. And that work is starting now.
And in the meantime, the weight limit is up to 15 tons.
Right, because they looked at our work and what we were planning to do, when we were planning to do it, and said, you know what, particularly since you're only allowing one vehicle at a time during the winter months to go over that bridge, we can raise the weight limit to 15 tons. So that's about 30,000 pounds.
And with the one-way traffic, the temporary lights, this will allow, emergency vehicles, campers, all these larger vehicles to access.
Service vehicles.
You know,
we're getting a lot of work done at Smith Point, so deliveries have to be made of all the construction materials, etc. Yes.
And then we do have some other bridges in the county that are in need of repair too.
Well, Ponquag Bridge is one of them, and I'm taking a very careful look at the West Hampton and Quag Bridge, which span over to Dune Road. So we are definitely taking a look at those bridges to make sure they're structurally sound. Here's the problem. In the past, this maintenance has been deferred. In 2021, my predecessor, Mr. Ballone, announced that they were starting construction on the bridge and it would be completed by 2024. We get to office, I get into office the beginning of 24, I find that they have done absolutely no work whatsoever. So that statement proved not to be true. And I understand that people put off things because they cost money. But they're only going to cost more money and create more problems if you don't address them. We cannot postpone dealing with our infrastructure and have to maintain it in the top order that we can to make sure that it's safe, because cost is secondary. Safety is first and foremost what we should be addressing.
And now it's not just the new bridge that's necessary, it's the retrofit plus the...
We're going to spend a lot of money on the retrofit, and then we're going to tear it down to build the new bridge. I mean, it's unfortunate. I wish that my predecessor had addressed this ahead of time and the new bridge was under construction, because by this time we could take down the old bridge and we weren't worried about structurally sound or unsound. But that proved not to be the case. So it's instructive in the sense that I am focused on making sure that safety is the first obligation of any of our infrastructure programs, and cost is a secondary concern. If we don't start addressing things as soon as possible, we are going to have a bigger mess.
And then just one point I want to make before we move on from the bridge. Camping at Smith Point will resume as scheduled. So for anyone with any camping reservations, those won't be impacted.
Camping reservations usually start at the end of March.
Yeah.
And run through, I think, October. There'll be no delays.
Yeah.
The bridge will be capable of taking campers, and by the end of March, no problem. So none of our activities, including the beach, on a hot beach day in July or August, you can get as much, particularly the weekend, as 3,000 cars going over that bridge. Usually on a summer day, you can get about 1,000 cars, but a weekend brings even more because people are off from work.
We are in the holiday season. While there's a charitable component to holiday season, we also do see an uptick in some DSS needs. It gets colder. There's HEAP. There's SNAP, which is a year-round program. In terms of SNAP, I know there were some concerns nationally, but
Well,
what did
during
we
the
have
government
during the
shutdown,
government shutdown?
There was
What did
the
we have in
government
place though?
shutdown's over. SNAP money is flowing, and what I found out when I came in, which you could probably have somewhere, that there were huge delays in processing SNAP applications. That we cut right through, because I don't think anyone SNAP is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. In other words, the old food stamps program, helping people who are poor get food. I don't think anyone should go hungry. I was annoyed to find out that the last administration had so many delays in processing the application. We've reduced those delays that were, in some cases, several weeks down to a few days.
Actually, I have the numbers right
Oh,
here.
great.
In January of 2024, 59% of applications were processed timely. In only a few months, that number was up to 85. By February of 2025, that was up to 93, and today it stands at 95%
So
done
you put an
timely.
application in, it gets processed. If you need food, we'll make sure you get it. SNAP applications are important. What's also important is HEAP, HEAP. That's the program to help people low income with heating assistance, helping to pay for oil or propane or gas, depending on how they heat their homes. That's important. We're still waiting for the federal government to appropriate money. I hope they do so quickly because winter is here. If anyone's been outside, even in November, it's cold, and people need to heat their homes.
But in the event the government shutdown didn't end as it did with regards to SNAP, I was told that Suffolk County had a backup plan to make sure that our SNAP recipients locally would have
Right.
continued.
We had a backup plan. We were working with the state to make sure that people in Suffolk County would have assistance. People, those eligible would be able to get food. And I would also encourage, that's with government assistance, but guess what? There's a lot of really good people and a lot of people, charitable people, who go out and create food pantries, churches, community organizations, etc. And I would encourage everyone this holiday season to make a food donation. Get a bag or a box full of some staples, not stuff that doesn't expire, pasta, soup, canned soup, things of that nature, and get it over to your food pantry. Either that or donate to some of the organizations like Long Island Cares or Long Island Harvest. It's because these people work hard to get this food out to the people in need. And believe it or not, these days, there's a lot of people that need SNAP benefits or need a little bit of help by putting food on their table. You could help at this holiday season. There's nothing better than, in the spirit of joy, happiness, and everything else, of donating some food to a pantry, knowing that the people walking in there are in need and could use that food.
So just keeping on this topic, I know you were busy the past couple of weeks with a lot of food drives
Yes.
for veterans, just here with PSEG, Stu Leonard's, Suffolk County Community College.
We handed out turkeys at Suffolk Community College for veterans. We handed out at Stu Leonard. He gave a huge turkey giveaway that I am so happy to see that. We were over in the parking lot here in the Dennison building when we gave out turkeys to veterans and their families. So we're just one of a small group of people all over this county that opens their hearts and makes sure that everyone has something to eat this holiday season.
Maybe backing up a little bit to DSS, safe sleep is a really important topic. Making sure that infants are kept in proper sleeping arrangements, the ABCs of sleeping. It's just very important for us to remember. We just filmed a PSA on that topic.
I did. I do a lot of things as county executive. One of the saddest things I mean truly sad, that I do is the infant mortality report, infant death report that is filed with me about every infant that dies in Suffolk County. In the last 3 years, we've had over 25 infants that have died, usually because the parent has taken them to bed and in their sleep rolled over on the child and smothered the child. But there's other causes for infant death. Some of them are very tragic and sad. I'd like to prevent that if we can. And that means that parents should learn the ABCs of safe sleep for infants. One, place the infant on a back. Two, make sure they're on a firm surface with fitted sheets so they can't bunch up and smother them in the sheets. And I know there's another one out there.
A, have your child sleep alone.
Right, sleep alone. Don't sleep in bed with your child because people roll over in their sleep and sometimes on their infant. And believe it or not, that was the cause for many of these infant deaths. And I said, wow, that has to be heartbreaking because they all could have been prevented. So forget everything. Remember the ABCs of safe sleep for infants. Put them on their back. Don't sleep in the bed with them. Make sure their surface is flat. If there's sheets, make sure they're fitted sheets so they can't be bunched up. And keep them safe.
Yep. Alone, back, crib. And if anyone needs a reminder about that, you could call Suffolk 311, and they'll remind you if you forget. They'll also provide you with resources to help, really with just about anything.
Absolutely.
On a lighter note, we do have the Big Duck tree lighting on December 3rd. This is the 37th year that we've done it out in Flanders. That's something that everyone can
on
go
Route
to.
24, New York State Route 24. Get out there, and at 7 o'clock, the lights go on, and the ducks begin to quack.
It's a little homage to our duck farming heritage here in Suffolk County.
But we used to have a lot of duck farms.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we don't have as many now, and fortunately, we had a bird flu that actually the last major duck farm, the Corwin Duck Farm in Aquabark, had to kill almost 100,000 ducks to prevent the spread of the avian flu, the bird flu. So hopefully ducks are on their way back. You know, I've had a duck dinner now and then. And
They're good.
they're good.
Yeah, they're good.
Absolutely.
As we wrap up this edition and go into the holidays, County Executive, I'm curious, what are you most thankful for?
For my family. I'm thankful for my family. And you know what? A lot of people don't realize what they have until they lose it. I lost my first wife, brain aneurysm. I lost my son to a heart virus. So when you miss people because they've passed, you realize how important people are and how important it is in the holidays to connect with them and to have a good time, to enjoy one another, to celebrate, to talk about the turkey that comes out on Thanksgiving, to talk about the Christmas tree that you have lights and presents under, to have the joy. Because the most important thing in our lives, hopefully for most people, are their friends and family. That's what makes life worth living. And you see people and you go, oh, wow. And I'm blessed. I'm in a business where I deal with a lot of people. I got to know a lot of people in my lifetime. And so it's a joy to run into someone I haven't seen for a while and ask them how they're doing and how things are going. And just enjoy people, family members and friends. This holiday season, they are our most precious gift of the holidays.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everyone.